Technology screens. Please bear with me with the coffee. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for bearing with me with the coffee I have to go through from time to time. Gets a bit rough. All right, so today we're going to be talking about gray screen paint products, including our own, which we have right here. Now this right here is the Throwback Digital One Crystal Screen Paint 3.0, which we made. This is Crow Screen Paints and so forth. Just to show you that we have the containers here. Now, two screen paints we have up there. We have the Metallica Mix 2.0. We have the our technology. We're just going to call it for short Throwback 3.0, which is the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. And over here we have the Metallica, the Crow's Personal Mix. And as you can see, we got the purple magenta. The screen is actually purple. A lot of people didn't believe the screen was purple. I got close up. Wow, the screen is actually purple. Like, yep. It's a dark purple screen. And it uses dark technology, which is a blacker technology and darker technology used. Now, as I said before, that I'm not going to tell you that because we made a screen paint on the 3.0, an 8-year-old product we bought back, or throwback, that it's going to be equal to a darker gray screen. It's not. It's not going to have the capabilities that darker screens can pull off. It's not going to be to pull heavy contrast. Color's not going to pop up, but in the demonstrations we showed you with the Throwback 3.0, it produces better contrast than his product. Now, the fellow who has the product up here that we purchased from him, he goes by the name of Crow1176, which is his YouTube channel. And in his channel, he basically does a lot of demonstrations in the dark, displaying contrast levels in the dark, and just misleading his customers, or anybody just misleads them altogether. When you do contrast demonstrations, it should be done in a fully lit environment so you can see exactly how much light is going to fade those contrast levels, or going to basically disrupt the contrast levels. And that's the problem we have. By doing a lot of demonstrations in the dark, you're selling a product that's not so, and you should be doing those demonstrations in a fully lit environment. Also, too, by telling your customers that darker screens is not the way to go, and darker screens are the future, the lighter gray screens are basically to the point where they're obsolete. They're just pretty much older screens. Now, mind, this is a product we had 8 years ago, and that was able to outperform his products with no problem whatsoever. Now, as I said before, that even projection screens companies know that the lighter screens are going to be, this is actually going to be a more expensive screen because this is a Pro Acoustic. This is going to be a little bit more. But if you got yourself a white screen, it's going to be cheaper. Just showing you as an example. But that Pro Acoustic is something else. That's an acoustic screen. Sound can travel through. It's completely different than a front projection. Then you're going to get the Cinema Gray, which is much like, almost close to his product, but I'm pretty sure this is much better. So this is the Cinema Gray screen, which is going to be about $800, maybe $900. That's basically about it. And then you're going to go with the darker screens, which are going to be the Cinema Gray 5D, which is going to be a lot more darker, give you much better, better contrast level. It's going to be to reject more ambient light. And like I said, white levels are going to drop a little bit. Anytime you're dealing with a darker gray screen, white levels are always going to drop a little bit. Contrast and color is going to improve. And there is the Darkstar 9, which is going to be the most expensive screen, $3,000. And the reason why the screen is darker, these are the more advanced screens, not the lighter screens. But the thing is that some people would have you believe by doing demonstrations and showing contrast levels in the dark and not doing it with the lights on, would have you believe that their screen can produce these insane contrast levels, fully lit, dark environment, and can produce very high white levels. None of these screens will be to produce a white level higher than a white screen. That's all too. So we're going to turn on the Christie projector over top. Just had a Christie projector over there, pulled off. Now we're doing a Christie projector over top. So turn it on the big boy. So it's going to be running through my gaming system. Now, the magenta is a dark purple screen, part of the Exotic Collection. Unfortunately, you can't get them at all, period. I'm sorry, but you can't. They were on the website for a while. They're in negotiations to be bought. So this is it right there. I can make them, but I can't sell them once I sign that paperwork. I'm getting another one of these. definitely in my game room. Actually, I'm going to get nothing but these in my game room. This screen is freaking insane when it comes to gaming. So I will have me a few of these in my gaming room. So as you can see already from the door, that even in the PlayStation menu, the color blue does not pull up. Now our screen can pull up a better blue. As you can see how the blue levels are coming up here. Our screen's pulling up a much better blue. Yeah, the Throwback 3.0 produces better color than his product. We able to prove that already. Contrast levels, everything. Let's go into applications. I'm going to go straight into YouTube. And then after this video is done, I'm going to come back in later on and we're going to do the gunmetal and the signature 17. Now in this demonstration, we're using more than enough power. My Christie projector is a full 1080p projector. That is 1920 by 1200 at 5,000 lumens. This is a powerful projector, got mine. See our contrast level is coming in darker right here, here, and here. Contrast level is not even showing at all on this screen. I start off with first white screen. So there's the white screen on the magenta next to the other screens. Right there. Now, let's go switch over to, okay, controller gets a little bit weird. Red screen. And mind you, magenta is purple. It's a purple screen, a dark purple screen. As I said before, the exotics have the ability to pull up amazing color applications where other screens we have can't do the same thing as the exotics can do. They can pull up amazing colors. So as you can see, I told you before that, because I don't want people to mislead you, to make you believe that our technology is going to have the ability to go against a darker screen. It's not going to happen. That's what I'm showing you right from the door. When everybody else has been lying to you and saying, look, we can produce the same color as their screens, we can produce the same contrast. Yeah, they've been lying to you. No, they cannot. Not against a darker screen. Not going to come up. Slow color changing. There we go. Do a color change out. So color change out. Now see where our blues come up better? We produce better blues, we produce better reds. As I told you before, even with the great technology we have on the website, I'm not going to come on here and tell you that it's going to be able to compete with a darker technology. It's not going to do it. When you have people doing fake reviews and mixing products with black paint, darker paint, to try to make their product look good, to convince you that, hey, look, I can pull just as dark as the images they can, lights out again. I can pull better colors, this, that, and the other. The only thing you're going to be able to do next to a darker screen, and light gray screen even our own, you're going to be able to pull a higher white level. That's it. Contrast and color is just not going to come up. That's why if you look at that collection of elite samples I have over there, the best screen out of all of those is a Darkstar 9, which is a darker screen. But like I said, people are going to mislead you and tell you something that's not true. All right. Pull up the color blue. Now you see how our technology pulls up a much better blue than his screen paint product. I told you, even the 3.0 throwback can produce better contrast and color than his screen. Let's go with, and keep in mind while we're doing this, I want to see if this can turn the screen so dark you can't even see it. Even our own. So let's go up. Let's go to Panasonic 4K demonstrations. That's why it's an 8-year-old product. That's why it costs $48 on our website. Like I said, gray screens are what you call older screens. There's no advancements about them at all. The best technology is darker screens. Like I said, if you're going to go down a route with the gray screen, then why pay $75 for it and get it for $48, and it'll produce better contrast and better color than this screen. But like I said, if you want the best for your projector, you want to go with a darker screen. Oh, that's right. I'm not going to go up there and lie to you and tell you that my product's going to produce better than a dark gray screen. With darker technology, that's not going to happen. There's no way in the world. I've been lying to you all that time, and I'm telling you the truth. This gray screen paint can compete with a dark technology. No. Our technology 8 years ago that beat his screen can't even compete with dark technology. But, yeah, that's it. People lie. Anything they want to tell you, they lie to you. Say whatever they can. Just like, when he came up there and he was trying to convince you to buy scam projectors because it works on this product. Doesn't make a difference if it works on your product at all. You're supporting a company that scams people every day on a projector that's just not what it is. It's a fake projector. I wouldn't even dare put that up there and support that nonsense. Ugh, man. DualShock disconnected. How are you disconnected? How are you disconnected? There's fresh batteries in there. Now we're doing 3 things in this demonstration. Well, actually 2 things. Actually 3 things. 3 things. We're showing you the difference between our technology, like I said, and Crow's products. Like I said, it claims that it produces the same contrast level as a black screen. It has amazing ambient light projection technology. It doesn't need ambient light projection technology. And that he can do all the things that a darker gray screen can do, or a darker technology can do. It can do the same thing. And on top of that, not only that, but that the technology we developed, the darker technology we make, you can't see the screen at all. Virtually impossible. It comes up too dark. So let's see. Now, keep in mind, people don't think when they talk. See, contrast levels gonna come up. If you're going to make demonstrations by telling people that you can make the 3.0 for $45 or whatever you supposed to be, I don't know what you get by that. But anyway, your product is not worth $75. It's not. It's worth about 40, probably about 50 bucks. I say at the most, about $50. But not for the price he's claiming it to be. Because like I said, as you can see, the technology we have here is far more advanced. The darker screens is where it's at. Do your research, call up some of these big companies and say, hey, look, what's the best screen you got and what color is it? They'll tell you. They're dark. Those are the screens that are going to cost you. Be prepared to hear the sticker shock on what these things cost. These are screens that'll cost you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. You want 150. This is a 135-inch screen. 100-inch of dark technology is going to cost you $5,000. So imagine this is a 135-inch. You do the math on what that screen is going to cost you. You do the math. It's going to cost you a lot of money. See right here? Now look right here. Even on the magenta, you see the contrast levels on our screen? This is the 3.0. Was able to pull up a contrast level better than his product and cost less. You see the contrast level here? It's not going to be the greatest because, like I said, these screens are designed to pull contrast levels. They're darker screens. Look at the contrast level there. Gone. It couldn't even pull up a shade of somewhat decent black for the background. So the background of the horse is coming up tan here. It's coming up tan there. Over here, at least, it's a little darker here and it's darker here. That shows you the contrast levels we have on 3.0 throwback are way better than what he has here. The personal mix didn't even show up at all. I can take the personal mix off and I can put it right over here where the horse's face is at. And look how that comes up next to the magenta, which is actually a purple projection screen. And look how the image is pulling up. You see the difference? And this is a 3.0. The 3.0 throwback is pulling a heavier contrast level. And that's a $48 screen paint compared to the screen paint. $48 flat because your shipping is free, where these particular two here and here are going to cost you $75 plus an additional $23.70. And then whatever tax is added onto it, we paid altogether $107. So having $107 versus the 3.0 throwback that costs our customers $48 with free shipping and produces a better contrast next to a black screen, a darker screen. Sorry about that. Next to a darker screen. Look. Right there again. We just did this demonstration a few minutes ago on the other screen. Now we're over here on the 135-inch. And look how it's coming up. And this is supposed to be a $107 screen paint. Now keep in mind, like I said, that's around 8 years old. That's when this stuff was being made. This is when it was actually at its height. It was around 8 years ago. This is our throwback we brought back. And this product right here is pulling up a better contrast level than both of these screens at $48 a quart, where this one is only will cost you at least $107 once you add in tax and all that with shipping. That tells you right there where someone's robbing you. $48, no shipping, $107, including tax and shipping altogether. And this is the magenta, which is a purple screen that's producing much better contrast. So at least for $48, if you decide to go down the route of a light gray screen paint, that's what you want, and that's what you choose to buy. At least you're not getting gagged. At least you're not being lied to, because we're doing this demonstration in a full lit environment. We're not in here in the dark. We're not camouflaging the screen to make the contrast levels look better. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're not using expensive 4K laser projectors or none of that. No ultra short throws. There's all distance going here. We're doing from here to here. And look what you're getting. This is a magenta, the dark technology we make. Look at the difference of the colors blended in with the horse's body, the different shades that come in as you're supposed to see. And here we have Crow's Personal Mix. And this Metallica mix, that's not pulling up nothing at all. You can even see the end of the strap on the horse. Look at the different levels of black levels there. And even though this is not going to be able to compete with our darker technology, look at the black levels on the Throwback 3.0 versus his product. And we're doing this in a fully lit environment. We're not camouflaging the screen in the dark. This is what happens when you camouflage a screen in the dark. When you put it in a fully lit environment and you show contrast off of it, the screen washes out. Because that screen's used to being produced in an environment that's dark. It's untested. If it was tested properly, it wouldn't be reacting this way because he would have saw the flaws and fixed it. But he didn't. He stuck it in a dark environment and he did a demonstration on some contrast levels and left it at that, where he cut corners. This technology, demonstrations were all done, contrast levels were all done with the lights on. So we could tell exactly where the screen needed to be tweaked when it came to the contrast levels to go back and fix it. Again, another product right there. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna leave that right there. That's a good picture right there. So that's the difference between dark. That's why darker screens cost more money. But this stuff right here, never tested. Now we're gonna be posting this to our website. Also be posted over to Facebook, so they can all see the same demonstration. But this is what happens when you do not do your test properly. If you have tested the product, you would have noticed that the white levels, the contrast levels, were not pulling through at all. And none of those were done. No testing were done at all, period. Meanwhile, that's the magenta. That's the exotic. We're going to be doing, I think today, we're going to fit the gunmetal in too. We're going to do a demonstration on the gunmetal. This is going to be a 720p projector, 800 by 600 res 720p. Then we're going to go over to the Signature 17. I think I'm going to do the Signature 17. I think I'll do it in the Japanese T-ROM. Yeah, we're going to do the Japanese T-ROM. But this is to show you up front, to be honest with our customers, to show you that there is no way in the world that, no way possible, that any gray screen is going to have the ability to be able to compete side by side to a darker form of technology. It's not going to work that way. But people will lie to you and tell you, oh, it will, but it won't. Right there, again. See right here where the black levels are much darker right here? Washed out, and there's a magenta right there in a fully lit environment. Just showing you what you're getting. You should see exactly what you're buying. You're paying for an overpriced, outdated product that was around 8 years ago. And it was over embellished by saying that, oh, it produces contrast levels. If it produces contrast levels on mine, this screen is purple. It's a dark purple. If it produces contrast levels just as good as he said his product as black paint, he said he did a review against the Nova and the Black Nova. Black Novas are darker than this. So if that's the case, you should be pulling up better contrast levels than this screen, knowing that your product was able to beat and outperform a Black Nova. Yet all I see is the 3.0 producing a better contrast level than your screen. And the magenta, which is purple, producing better contrast than all of them. And how do you explain that? But yet you beat a Black Nova, and a Black Nova is darker than this screen. See, that's what I say. Lies. Nothing but lies. How do you beat a Black Nova and this screen's purple? Look at this. You can even see the individual mane hairs on the horse on a magenta. Now look at it over here on a 3.0 throwback. That can produce a contrast level. We're charging $107 for this product, and this is a $48 product right here. If you call yourself beating a Black Nova, you should be to easily take this screen out in contrast levels. Eight-year-old product. 8 years. That's a throwback, an 8-year-old product. Versus a product that's supposed to be made in this, and what, 3 years? What, 2019, 2020, 21? This product right here, these products here, and that's an 8-year-old product. It's something to think about. Here we go. Faded. Faded. And again, it's a purple screen. And like I said, at the end of the day, even though our technology can produce a better picture than your product, and no way in the world would it ever be able to compete with our darker technology. Virtually impossible. Like I said there on the camera, before I did the demonstration, I just sat there and said there's no way in the world that 3.0 would compete with this darker technology. No. Which means if, like I said, crystal clear downstairs, I said, if you call yourself beating a Black Nova, and this is a 3.0 throwback from 8 years ago that beat your screen, how is it possible you beat a Black Nova and that thing can't? It can't even beat the magenta. So how is it possible that you beat a Black Nova? And that's an 8-year-old product. Yeah, you can't stop with those lies. Lies will get you nowhere. Let's go over here and let's pull up. I'm not going to come in here and tell you that this product is going to have the ability to be able to beat a darker screen. That's not going to happen. Let's go with OLED Beta Fish. That is not going to happen. I don't know how you don't understand how colors work. You don't do any research on big companies or none of that. You don't realize that they don't invest their money in gray screens. They invest their money in darker screens. The darker the screen, they want the screen to become as dark as they possibly can. They would love to have a black OLED screen laying on the wall that's a projection screen. They want something that's going to be to compete with the TV industry. And the black technology is where it's at. I can't remember the last time I seen a gray TV tube. That's why they're making projectors with more and more heavier contrast levels, because they want to be to compete with the TV competition. And what TVs out there which are the most advanced? Those are the black OLEDs. So how are you telling people that a gray screen is just as equal as a black screen, or basically it's supposed to be the most state-of-the-art technology, is the best? That's why if you look at projectors, as I said before, projectors' contrast levels get higher and higher and higher because they're trying to compete with TVs. It goes deeper than that. A lot of people, it goes deeper than the back and forth. It goes deeper than that. At one point, there was nothing but TVs in every home. Projectors was something you pulled out, family slide shows, stuff like that. That's basically about it. Now, you have projectors just about in every home, just equal to TVs. And in order for a projector to be to compete with a TV, especially with that OLED technology, you're going to have to be able to produce a pretty dark screen in order to pull up that image. The problem is, there's not a screen dark enough out there to be able to compete with the power of the projector. And that's why people want darker screens. And nobody wants to go out and spend $30,000 or $15,000 for a TV. Especially at 135 inches or 151 inches. Even at 100 inches would cost you an arm and leg. 80 inches would cost you an arm and leg. And you're convincing people that gray screens are the way to go. No, that's obsolete. That's old stuff. This is old. This is old. This is old. It's all old. From a projection screen company, I design projectors. I want a projector that can compete with an OLED TV, side by side. But the problem you have there, you can have the most advanced projector on the face of the planet. If you don't have the proper screen to display it off, you're not going to be able to see those contrast levels, those deep, rich colors. The projector only works when the screen can produce a perfect image to display the projector. This is a 5,000 lumen Christie behind me right now. We're using 5,000 lumen Christie. 1920 by 1200 venue projector. And it doesn't pick up. It doesn't register on the lighter screens. It's only registering on the darker screen. And that's the part you missed. And you're so busy downgrading black technology, darker technology, that it's this, that, and the other, you shot yourself in the foot because you can never make this stuff now because it would make you a complete hypocrite. Instead of accepting it, you denied it. And this is where you're at now. You're stuck in 8-year-old technology. It's more than just being able to set it up in your home. Like I said, these big companies out here, Panasonic and NEC and Sony, they want to compete. Well, Sony makes TVs anyway. Well, I don't understand the theory behind that one. But anyway, they want to have a projector that's going to look equal to a TV and cost less. That's what they want. Consumer wants a jet black screen in their home. They want a dark screen with the contrast levels. They want something that comes close to an OLED TV where they don't have to spend a ton of money. They want to be using a fully lit environment. They don't want to spend a lot of money for the projector to begin with, because some of the projectors can be really, really, really crazy expensive. They don't want to have to deal with this. And even though the 3.0 can produce, as I said before, better contrast than your screen, better color than your screen, still, it's an outdated technology. That's why it's only worth $48. We didn't charge it for $48 because we felt that we would undermine his product. No, it's only worth $48. It's an 8-year-old screen. Now, the technology we had under the ultralight silvers, those things were different. They had all kinds of stuff embedded in those screens. But even those things were cheaper than the products we were putting out on the market. They were way cheaper than the darker screens, even though they're much more advanced than this. Let's go back to 4K demonstrations. As a matter of fact, we need to go to the Starfield. That's what we need to go to. Starfield screensaver. Now you see how my screen is darker here? It's not dark, but it's darker here. It pulls up a better contrast than both your screens. Because at least whatever little coding we could add into it I mean, we couldn't do much with it, to tell you the truth. It's gray screen. You can only go but so far with gray screens. You really can't really go into it. Like a darker screen, I can add stuff in there that I can't add to this screen because it's not going to react right. All right, let's go over to, now with our technology being better than your product, let's see if we can use this and this to make this screen so dark you can't see it. Because now we're just going by what you said in your demonstrations. You showed this really black object on the screen. This is supposed to be how our dark technology reacts. So let's see if we can get it that dark where you can't see the screen at all. Now, white levels, yeah, it should be higher on your screen. That's a given. White levels on ours, it's going to be higher. That's a given. If we did this on a white screen and we did a white snowstorm, guess what? White screen would pull the higher white level. That's nothing new. Make sure we get that whole picture there. The thing you don't understand when it comes to black technology, and never will understand, is the fact that black screens can produce a slightly higher, lower white level, because that's what they're going to do, because the technology is darker. You make it sound like it's such a huge curse that having that slightly whiter level is basically going to disrupt the picture quality so much. Oh, woe is me. No one will ever be able to see the screen. It'd be virtually impossible for anyone to see the screen. Woe is me. No one can see the screen at all, period. You wouldn't be able to make out any images at all, period. I'm looking at an image. I can see the dog crystal clear here. The snow is kicking up. No problem. Despite that, the technology 3.0 that we developed is lighter than the technology we have here and producing a much better white level. And this screen, again, is purple. Now, the person who I'm referring to is a fellow by the name of Jamie Fernando. And he basically makes his screen paint under his mixes, Crow's mixes. And his demonstrations, he basically paints these really dark screens. He claims this is how our technology shows up. Any black screen, any dark screen is going to come so dark you can't even see it. But in these demonstrations, like I said, when we do our test demonstrations over here, we show up our screens with white levels against white screens, certified screens, and so forth. We just never could get the screen to go dark, as he does in his video demonstrations, showing that he's faking the demonstrations. Also, in his demonstrations, he does a lot of contrast demonstrations, but they're strictly done in the dark. Nothing's ever done in a full lit environment to show how the screen is going to be affected by light in the environment that's going to make contact with the screen. So we see a lot of stuff like that in his demonstrations, and this is the reason why these demonstrations are being done. Not only that, it's to show that even the paint that we have for $48 that we sell on our website is not going to be able to compete with the darker screens. And that's the picture he painted, that the lighter screens are more advanced and they're going to be able to produce much better images in darker screens. And that is such a lie. As we can see right here with the dark magenta, which is a very dark purple screen, it has the ability to be able to produce, as you can see, a very, very bright white level where you can see the screen, and like I said, maintain without a problem. Okay, we'll come out of there real quick. Let's go over to this demonstration here. I like this one because it has the skin tones. And as you can see, our contrast level on our technology is coming up better than these two. As you can see, both of the screens are not pulling up the red levels correctly. And like I said, we expect for the screen to be able to produce a lower white level. That's a given with any form of black technology. White levels are always going to drop, but not to the point, like I said, as the individual had painted it to be, and so in speaking, that the surface is so dark you can't see the screen at all. And that's what he tried to put out there on the market, that yeah, black screens come out so dark you can't see them. As we can see, we're not having that problem at all. or darker technology. Now, next demonstration we'll be doing is we'll be also doing the gunmetal screen. This is another screen he claimed. That also too came out so dark that you can't see the screen. And not only will we have our product 3.0 throwback or throwback 3.0, we'll have his products, which is a personal mix and the Metallica mix, next to those screens, that screen downstairs, to see what happens, to see if we can make that screen go dark. And also to show you that, as I said before, with the technology we have here at $48 a quart, that there is a difference between the darker technology we make and this lighter technology we make. I'm not going to come on here and lie and embellish the truth and say, hey, look, it produces contrast levels and red levels and colors and everything is equal to a darker screen. That is not true. That is a lie. And that's the problem. He went on making these false accusations, and basically, his product does not produce contrast levels equal to a darker screen or none of that all whatsoever. All right, let's come out of here. We'll go over to, let me see. Let's go to 4K demonstrations. And as you can see, we're in a fully lit environment as always. Nice and bright in here. Projector sitting back at a good distance. We always have projector sitting back at a good distance. And there you're seeing the bright levels pop up. And also give you a chance to see how the magenta looks next to screens that are much lighter. There's the contrast levels. As you can see, our screen is producing a much darker level. It's not going to be as dark as the darker screens, but as you can see, it's producing a much better darker level than these two screens right here, which is the Personal and Metallica mix. I'm going to let that one play. But that's the difference between our product, darker technology we develop, versus the a lighter or gray screen paint. And I'm not going to come on here and tell you or turn out the lights and have you in a dark environment and show you contrast level and say, hey, look, it's equal to a black screen or one of our black screens. That would be lying to you. Or it produces colors just as good as a darker screen. That would be lying to you. And I'm not going to come out here and if I didn't make a dark product, I wouldn't come out here and taint someone's product, make it darker than what it is, to make the other product seem better than what it is. Have to be honest. And that's interesting. My friend was like, that's really interesting that you now have that throwback. You can just go online and just show the difference between your product and the darker product, it being your own, and then do a demonstration of your product versus his, which we did. So at least now, if you go buy the $48 product, the 3.0 throwback, you know exactly what you're getting next to our darker technology. You're not being sold on something that's not true. That's what I find interesting. The fact that his screens were able to turn our screen dark. You can't see it, but I got a product here that's better than your product, and it's not turning the screen dark. 3.0 is far better than your product. It's not turning the screen dark at all, like you displayed in the videos. See? That's why you can't do fake demonstrations, because people will out you. And instead of backing it up, he can't back it up. He's only doing video game demonstrations. But he can't back it up. So he could think of a devious or more sinister plan to come up and do something else. So right now he's just on there gaming. So that's all he can do right now. When we can come out here and we can back it up. In a few minutes, when this is done, we will be downstairs on the gunmetal. And I'll show you the same demonstration again on the gunmetal. And then we'll go over to the Signature 17. And I'll show you where every last one of the screens will produce a bright, beautiful image, as they're supposed to, and not a dark image as he painted it to be. But not only that, show you the difference between the 3. I'm not going to tell you and say, oh, the 3.0 has the ability to produce just as good as a dark screen. No, that would be a lie, as he did in his demonstrations. That's why you don't see that OLED horse in a fully lit environment on the screen. You don't see that. You can't do it. The screen will wash out. But yet, when we displayed the 3.0 yesterday, when we did the demonstration on the throwback, lights never went out. Lights stayed on. We didn't stick to certain colors. We did contrast. We did white levels. We did the whole 9 yards, everything. And we were able to show that our screen could produce a better contrast level than his product and cost less. Cheating people. That's what you've been doing. You've been cheating people. Should never have been doing that to begin with. Charging them $75, almost $107 for a product. You know darn well it's so old it should not be charged for that amount of money. Panasonic 4K demonstration. This is the last one we're going to do. And I like this one right here. Proves it hands down. Wish we had more naysayers in here because I want them to see this. That's the black level on a 3.0 throwback. That's the black level on a Metallica mix and a personal mix. This is the black level on a purple projection screen called Magenta under the exotic code. Which screen is pulling the better contrast? First, the Magenta is pulling it. Second would be a 3.0. $48, $107. $107 will be paid for both of these for $107. No, shipping is free. You will pay for shipping. You will pay for shipping. The reason why he couldn't pick up on this because he didn't do any tests. If you did tests, you would have realized that, wait a minute, this screen's contrast level is not coming up that well. I need to fix this. You didn't. And like I said, I'm not going to come in here and say, oh, this product produces a contrast level just as good as our darker screens. No, that'd be lying to you. That's not going to happen. But I can tell you that the contrast level on this screen is going to be far better than this one and this one. There you go. So now you know what you're getting. So when you go to purchase the 3.0 for $48 with free shipping, you will know that how it compares to our darker technology. Not being lied to and being told that, hey, it produces an image just as dark as a darker screen. It doesn't. It can't. No way world possible. That's kind of like me saying that, hey, look, my gray screen can produce a white level as high as a white screen. Virtually impossible. Only a white screen is going to produce a white level that high. It's going to turn all these screens dark, no problem. So, like I said, sat there and lied to you, put you in the dark, and said, well, this is how screens are meant to be. Because I remember one of his campaigns used to be where projection screens were meant to be done in the dark. We're meant to be in the dark. No, they're not. This is why they make ultra short throw projectors. A lot of people don't want to be in the dark. They want to be set this in their living room. They want to be set this in their lounge. People want to be out with the lights on, and they want to be in a fully lit environment and use their screens. They don't want to be in the dark. I was the one that was considered to be the phony because I did a lot of my demonstrations with the lights on. I was the one that was the phony because I use 720p projectors, refuse to buy a 4K, refuse to buy an expensive high-end projector because I felt that if you can't get the image to pull off on the fully lit environment, then it's not worth your time. That's how your screen's supposed to look in a fully lit environment. Contrast levels are supposed to pull. This demonstration should never ever be done in the dark. Never. Because now you're cheating the customer. You're misleading the customer. So what happens if you do the whole entire demonstration in the dark and you come home and you turn your lights on? What's going to happen? The screen's going to wash out. Because the screen was never properly tested. And you'll probably get some kind of detailed instructions, or you can't use it in a fully lit environment. You know, you have to use ambient light controlled environments. These colors don't come up correctly. You got to calibrate your projector. Excuses. Whole bunch of excuses. So that product's not worth saving you hundreds. No, he's cheating you out of hundreds. That's what he's doing. He's definitely cheating you. Doing it over there for $48 and still can beat his screen from a product 8 years ago. And he's going to convince you that darker screens are not the way to go, but big companies, big corporations are invested in darker technology to compete with the TV competition, designing projectors with much more darker contrast levels. They know darn well if you design a $40,000 or $50,000 projector that has amazing contrast levels, what good is that if you're going to show that on a great screen? It's not even going to pick up. They know that. So that's why they have darker screens to deal with these projectors that produce these heavier contrast levels to get that ultimate OLED display. And here he's got a 4,000, 2 million to 1 contrast level on a gray screen and can't pull a Starfield demonstration, a decent one, in a fully lit environment. That projector he had was never made for that color screen. Think about that. It was never made for it. Never made for that color screen. Now I'm using a old refurbished projector I got off of eBay. $560. No, $2,000, not even $800. $560. That's outdated. They don't make them anymore. 2012, I think around that time they got rid of this one. I'm showing you an image on a 35-inch screen, fully lit environment. Windows light coming in, not a lot, window light coming in. And my projector sits back, this one's about 19 feet, about 19 feet or so back. And I'm producing an image with no problem. And the image looks beautiful. And the screen at that is purple. No calibrating, no 4K, no laser, none of that. Turn the projector on, boom, that's it. Now I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna start getting ready for downstairs because that's when usually I got packages coming in today. Today we should be doing a demonstration to also on a customer's 100-inch screen, 16 on acoustic before we ship that out. That'd be a nice demonstration to do. Maybe later on the day I'll do some video game recording on here. I got some new games I want to play on here. I got to play on my screen, on my arcade screen. I haven't done my arcade screen in a while. Now, am I saying that the 3.0? Yeah, 3.0 is an amazing product. It's good. I can see it beat this product with no problem. But is it equal to the technology we make here? No, it's not. It's not at all. That's why it's worth the price that it is, $48. Now, like I said, unfortunately, you can't get this product. This product was bought out. And you can see why it was bought out. If I'm using this on an outdated projector and these guys decide to use this on, and they probably will use it on an expensive 4K projector, do you have any idea what this image is going to look like? I got to get pictures of that. I got to contact them and let them know. I got to get pictures of that. They're going to hit that with an 8K projector. Knowing what the business and what they do, yeah. And this is on a 1080p 1920 by 1200. Imagine this being hit with an 8K or 4K projector. I will be making 5 gallons of this for myself because, like I said, I can't sell it, but I can make 5 gallons for myself. So when I move, I'm getting this put into my new house. This screen is absolutely gorgeous. I tell people, look, when we got products on the website, you might want to jump on them because, like I said, I will be retiring. Is that the white screen over there? I think that is the other. This too. Reminds me, I had to call the other person too with that other contract and get that out of the way. I'm gonna let that run. I gotta go take care of it downstairs. Oh, showing off white levels. Beautiful. All right, let me see. What I gotta grab from here? I don't even need nothing from here. Oh, my teacup. Got some good white levels in there. That's it. Oh. I got all my stuff downstairs. So that's good. I can start with the gunmetal. All right, we're done this demonstration right here. As you can see, like I said, darker technology is the best way to go. You're going to be able to produce a much better image in a fully lit environment. The screen's not going to wash out. You get perfect contrast levels, and the colors are going to look absolutely amazing. On top of that, you don't have to spend the money for an overpriced, expensive projector. As you can see, picture quality looks absolutely incredible. Well, thank you for your time. I'll be back on it in a few because I have to do the demonstration on the gunmetal downstairs. Shut this off for now. We're done here. And I gotta go, and God bless.